before marvel, there was faith. These are the real heroes of courage, power, and unshakable faith. This is Faith Avengers.
It was Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday that felt like any other, but for Leo, it was different. The day seemed to stretch on, heavy with something he couldn't quite name. Lunchtime arrived, and the cafeteria was a storm of noise, trays clattering, laughter echoing, voices everywhere, bouncing off the walls in a wild, chaotic symphony. It was the kind of place where secrets got swallowed up, and everyone tried to blend in. But for Leo, the loudest sound wasn't the chatter or the clatter. It was inside his own heart, a thumping drumbeat of nerves pounding so hard he wondered if anyone else could hear it. He'd just told his friends he couldn't go to the party on Friday. Youth group was the reason. He tried to sound casual, but his voice trembled just a little. His words landed like a crash. Silence. Stares. The air felt thick, as if everyone was waiting for someone else to speak first. Mark scoffed. Youth group? You'd rather hang out with weirdos than come to the biggest party? His tone was sharp, slicing through the quiet. The others joined in, piling on. So lame. What a goody-goody. Their laughter was louder now, but it felt cold, almost rehearsed. Leo's face burned. It would be so easy to take it back, to laugh along, to disappear into the crowd and pretend he hadn't said anything at all. But something inside him held firm. But a quiet whisper inside told him he was doing the right thing. It was gentle, but steady, a voice that didn't shout but never faded. Leo didn't back down. He just sat there, sandwich forgotten, looking at his friends, who suddenly felt like strangers. He wondered if they'd ever really understood him at all. They couldn't hear the whisper, only the world's noise telling them to fit in, to go along, to never stand out. Standing alone felt like standing on an island in a roaring ocean. Scary, lonely, the kind of loneliness that makes you question everything. Leo thought of someone else who stood alone, a man named Noah. He'd heard the story 100 times, but today it felt different, more real. Noah knew what it was to be laughed at, to be the only one listening to a promise that sounded crazy. He kept building, even when everyone else thought he'd lost his mind. He built something everyone thought was foolish, for a future no one else could see. He trusted the whisper, even when the world shouted at him to stop. Leo took a deep breath. He picked up his sandwich, feeling a little braver, a little stronger. The whisper was still there, steady as ever. He wasn't really alone. He was part of a much older story, a story about faith, courage, and an arc. And sometimes the quietest voice is the one that matters most. Long ago, the world was loud with selfishness and hate. The streets echoed with anger, and people cared only for themselves, turning away from anyone in need. People had forgotten kindness and God. Compassion was rare, and hearts had grown cold, as if the world had forgotten how to love. God saw the world he loved, and his heart broke. He watched as people drifted further from him, and sorrow filled his spirit. But in the middle of all that noise, one man was different, Noah. He stood out, not because he was loud, but because he was gentle and true.
I tried to be a quiet man, a good man. I wanted to live in a way that pleased God, even when no one else seemed to care.
The Bible says, Noah walked faithfully with God. He chose a different path, one of trust and obedience, even when it was lonely. While others ran from God, Noah walked with him, like a friend. He stayed close, even when the world turned away. They talked. Noah listened. God listened. Their friendship was quiet but deep, built on trust and love. Noah's life was a quiet song of love in a world that only screamed. His gentle ways were a melody of hope. God saw Noah's heart, a safe place where love could grow. In Noah, God found someone who still believed in goodness.
I had a plan, a rescue plan. The world needed hope, and I wanted to offer it through someone I could trust. I needed someone who would listen and trust me even when it sounded impossible. Someone who would not give up, no matter how hard it became. I needed my friend Noah. He was the one I could count on to carry out my plan.
So God whispered to Noah. He spoke softly, choosing words that only a true friend would hear. Not a shout, a quiet word from God's sad heart to Noah's listening one. It was a message of both warning and hope. He told Noah about the world's sickness, his own sadness, and what he wanted Noah to do. The task was heavy, but the trust was real. It was a big, strange job, something no one had ever seen before and few would understand. one that would take all of Noah's strength, courage, and faith and make him seem like the craziest man on earth. But Noah was ready to listen, no matter the cost.
I am going to wash the world clean with a flood, but I will make my promise with you.
God's promise was unbreakable. I will rescue you.
Build an ark, out of gopher wood, huge and strong, with rooms, a door, and a roof. Cover it with pitch.
Noah listened to every word. He pictured the great boat, a magnificent, crazy idea. But there was a problem. It had never rained. Not once. The world was watered by mist, not rain. No one had ever seen a drop fall from the sky. So when God said, "I'm sending a flood," it sounded impossible, like saying fish would swim through the air. Building a boat for rain no one had seen? Madness. People would mock him, tease his children, call him a fool. Noah had a choice: listen to fear and doubt, or trust the voice of his friend God, whose promises never failed. Noah did everything God commanded. Faith isn't just a feeling, it's action.
Let's get to work. We have a promise to build.
Noah and his family cut trees, hammered and sawed. Day after day, year after year, they built.
Bang, bang, bang. People came to watch and to laugh.
What is that thing, Noah? A house for giants. He thinks water will fall from the sky. What a fool.
Every day, Noah and his family faced laughter and scorn, but they kept building. Every plank was a prayer. Every layer of pitch said, "I believe you, God."
Keep going, boys. Every plank matters.
Eat something. We need our strength.
They were a little island of faith in a sea of doubt, building their rescue. For 120 years they built. The ark grew, a silent sermon of God's warning and love. Noah was building a boat for a storm he couldn't see, trusting a God who never let him down. One day the hammering finally stopped. The ark was finished at last. Then came a rumble. Thousands of footsteps echoed. The animals were coming. 2 by 2, every kind of creature arrived. Giraffes, elephants, turtles, lions, birds, and more.
Dad, look at all the animals. This is really happening right now.
Yes, Shem, just as God said it would be.
Noah and his family guided them in, hearts full of awe and wonder. Once everyone was inside, Noah stood at the door and looked out at the crowd. Their laughter had faded to silence and uncertainty.
Come, there's still room for you. God is providing a way to be saved for everyone.
One last invitation was given, but no one moved. They turned away, choosing the world they already knew. With a heavy heart, Noah went inside. God sealed the door shut. Noah and his family were shut in, safe, secure, and waiting. For 7 days they waited in the ark. Outside the sun shone. People laughed at Noah's wooden box.
Do you hear them, Noah? They still don't believe.
We must trust God even when nothing seems to happen.
They had no idea the sky was holding its breath. On the 7th day a drop fell, then another, then a downpour. The sky turned dark, thunder cracked, lightning flashed. The rain came down, hard. Water gushed from the sky and the ground. The world was coming undone. Outside, chaos and fear replaced laughter. People ran for high ground, but the water rose fast, swallowing everything.
Dad, the ark is moving. We're floating.
Inside, the ark lifted off the ground, floating on the flood.
We're safe, just like God promised.
The ark rose higher, a tiny speck of hope in a world of water. For 40 days and nights, rain poured. The earth was covered. On that ocean, the ark floated, a symbol of God's judgment, but also his rescuing love. For over a year, Noah, his family, and all the animals floated on the endless sea, surrounded by nothing but water and sky. The days blurred together, and hope sometimes felt distant. Finally, after months of waiting, the ark came to rest on a mountaintop, high above the flooded world. Noah sent out a raven to search for dry land, and then a dove, hoping for a sign that the earth was healing. The dove returned with an olive leaf in its beak, a small but powerful sign of new life and hope. The next time the dove didn't return, the world was ready for a new beginning, cleansed and full of promise.
Come out of the ark, step into the sunlight, and breathe the fresh air of a renewed world. Bring your family and all the animals with you. It's time to begin again, together. It's time to start again, to fill the earth with life and hope.
Noah and his family stepped onto the fresh earth, feeling the solid ground beneath their feet. The animals poured out, eager to explore their new home. The first thing Noah did was build an altar to thank God for the rescue and the chance to begin again. Gratitude filled their hearts.
Thank you, God, for your faithfulness and for keeping your promises even when we were afraid.
We will never forget what you have done for us. Your love endures forever.
God placed a brilliant rainbow in the sky, a beautiful sign of his promise to all living things.
This is the sign of my promise, a reminder that I will always keep my word. I will never again destroy the world with a flood. The earth is safe in my care. When you see the rainbow, remember my never-ending promise, a promise of hope, mercy, and new beginnings.
Back in the cafeteria, Leo finished his sandwich. The mocking had passed, and the storm inside him had calmed. He felt a quiet strength growing within him, a sense of peace he hadn't known before. Like Noah, he was building something in his heart, a little ark of faith, courage, and trust. What is your ark? What is God asking you to build, even when the world doesn't understand? Trust him, even when it's hard. He will always make a way, even when the path seems impossible. Just look for his rainbow and remember his never-ending promise to you.
Hey, Faith Avenger, if you made it this far, you're part of the squad. Do you relate to brave Queen Esther, bold David, visionary Joseph, or maybe Rahab, who risked it all? Comment below with your favorite heroes and why they inspire you. Hit subscribe, like, and share this with your squad. New Faith Avengers episodes drop every week.